What is going on, everybody? It is episode 329 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. I guess today we have a continuation of the ongoing feud between Phil and Kellen.
I totally put it on Kellen. I put the redo your intro. I just screwed everything up. I put the shot on Kellen.
Well, it's too late now. Go to Kellen.
No, it's not Ryan Reynolds. It's Kellen. Hey, Phil, I've one up to you.
How did you one up him?
Because not only does this shirt have one color, not only does it have two colors, it's got three colors.
Yeah, but the bottom color isn't pastel.
And sunglasses are better than his sunglasses.
But the bottom color isn't pastel.
Is this a new shirt?
No.
Or was this just in your wardrobe?
I had it. Listen, I don't need to go out and like add to my wardrobe if it's already established.
Okay, I get it.
And we've got a guest host today joining us all the way from the other side of the room. We have Serge. Serge is here. What are you doing? How you doing, bud?
Yo, it's low energy Serge at Serge.com.
Perfect. Actually, Serge will be here. He's running behind schedule, but we're a lot. We're not as serious as those other big podcasts like IRL. You want to just walk in on this show? Apparently, you can do that. Serge will be here eventually. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. A K-pop star, a member of a famous K-pop group, has had to apologize because she got in trouble for wearing a QAnon conspiracy T-shirt. Mary called it a tube top. I was not that specific with that. She also had another one for the Sex Pistols, which had a very unfortunate symbol on it that I think she had no clue what it meant.
I mean, she might have. I don't know. Hard to tell.
Yeah, so
whoever her stylist is must hate her.
So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. It's kind of a ridiculous hysteria. We're also going to talk about Blac, Chyna, and Doja Cat in kind of, I called it a return to modesty, but it's not really a return to modesty. They're just changing their appearances a bit, would you say?
What they're doing, I think, is reversing their bimboification process.
Well, is that even possible for Doja Cat if she just had a breast reduction, she didn't have implants?
Yeah, I think we're going to see the trend of plastic surgery everything is going smaller.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine. He got his ass kicked at an LA Fitness in Miami. So can they have LA Fitness in Miami?
In Miami-Dade. And it was posted on this Twitter account called Only in Dade. There are a lot of things I'm sure will happen only in Dade.
Probably. Andy still sends me. I get lots of messages from Andy and Lydia from like an Instagram called Boston Culture, and it's just hilarious things that happen in Boston.
Okay, so, like what?
Probably nothing we can talk about on here without getting in trouble. So
okay.
You should go check that account out. We're also going to talk about this hilarious interaction between Mike Tyson and, is it pronounced Hasbulla?
Hasbulla.
Were
you unaware of Hasbulla?
No, I knew. Like, I obviously had seen the person, but never had heard the name out loud.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, he was invited on Mike Tyson's podcast,
Yep.
and they had a very awkward interaction.
Yes, so we will talk about that. Before we get started, guys, I did also want to point out that if you would like, there is new Pop Culture Crisis merch up on the merch store. We've added a logo that has the TV logo here, and then my preference is this one here that doesn't actually say Pop Culture Crisis in the box. It's actually just the TV logo there with an EKG. I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it better with the EKG.
How do I access this store, guys?
The link is already in our description.
The link is in the description.
I see. So it's the second link. I see. I clicked on Spotify at first. Oh.
I also wanted a shirt that says Crisis Actor.
Still waiting on approval for that.
Would you guys want a shirt that actually says Crisis Actor on the shirt? Would you go out into public wearing that?
I mean,
that is the question.
Let us know. We should have put up a poll about that.
Yeah, that's maybe next time. But let us know in the chat. I am paying attention to the chat today. So if you guys are ready, Mary, we will get right into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Kellen?
Yeah.
Serge?
Yeah.
Bet. He says bet. So we're gonna get started.
On God.
All right,
we have
guys.
cringe, right?
Yeah. I was gonna save cringe till after I do the intro segments, but I think you're right. Maybe we just start with the cringe.
Yeah.
The cringe is really bad today, guys. So I literally don't know the context for this clip at all, but I'm gonna refresh it.
This is really bad.
It's really bad. So this poor guy who's just I'm not getting.
You liked it.
Oh, you just liked it, dude.
You just liked it.
Oh, dude.
Unlike it.
We got him.
Liking it.
Do you just like it on the public pop culture account?
No, it's online. So he's literally...
I hate this on every level.
It's very disturbing.
What is this? Why are there so many people there? Why is this happening in broad daylight? I have so many questions.
Does anybody know?
Why did you come across this?
I saw something similar, except
he
it
lost
was like
a bet?
It was a person in a full puppy suit, and they came out of like a drainage pipe, like from underwater.
Huh?
And then another person came out from behind them with the leash, like a regular person. And
So he lost a bet, somebody says? Do you think he actually lost a bet?
I'm very confused. Are you telling me this just came up on your recommended on Instagram? Like,
no, it came up originally on Twitter, and then I had to find the Twitter clip got removed, and then I went and had to like look for it because it came up on Twitter.
And there was no context.
No, it was under that video on Clown World of the girls who were barking at each other. Did you see that one?
No.
The girls barking at each other, like being walked around like dogs, and they're barking at each other. And then like all the comments were, it's like because the girls were hot, so all the comments were like, it was like memes that say size zip.
Why is it that color?
I have no idea. Look, it's disgusting. We're done looking at that. We're done looking at that. Not a fan of that, ladies and gentlemen. Also, guys, before we get started, remember that we will interrupt the discussion for Super Chats over $20. If you do wish to derail the conversation and tell Serge how great a job he does on IRL, or tell Kellen how much you love those IRL clips that get posted,
and
you
those
can
pastels
do
that he's wearing.
Yes, however much you may feel about those pastels.
Man, it's... it's that time of year where you can actually drive with the windows down, you know, and blast music. So I'm in a great mood.
All right, we're going to get started. So I got a couple of things I want to talk about real quick at the beginning here. So the Super Mario Brothers box office estimates are in, and they're saying that it's looking to open to between $94 and $141 million, which is very good.
It's a 5-day weekend is such a cheat code.
It's a week. It's for Easter weekend.
Yeah,
so
that's cheating.
Did they address the whole Chris Pratt can't do a Mario voice?
They're just ignoring it.
They're saying the same thing about Jack Black
and
his voice acting on it, but we won't know until we actually see the full movie, right?
Yeah.
But Chris Pratt's Mario voice was just his voice, so what is there to criticize? Like,
I saw,
you
like,
just didn't put in effort.
I saw like the French and like the Spanish version of the trailer, and it's an
way
actual
better
Mario
sounding.
voice.
Yep.
People were getting into more heated arguments about Princess Peach. And
we didn't cover it. Like, they're like, she's got to protect her people and girl boss and this and that. I'm like, it's not going to be that bad in the movie. We all know that these people are just horrible at marketing.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to end up not being a bad thing.
We complain about how, like, female characters are not really shown being feminine. They're just male stories with a female supplanted in there.
Yep.
Therefore, it erases everybody. But the objection is always like, well, whenever a female faces a conflict, she, has to step up to the plate so she appears more masculine, and that's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, if a woman is in a movie, she's facing a conflict. Therefore, you can't make all female characters masculine. It can't work like that.
I'll agree. Like it's like almost taboo to just be a regular woman in a movie. Like I remember that movie just came out like a year or two ago on Hulu. It was like the Warrior Princess or something. It's basically Rapunzel, but instead of a man coming in and saving her, she just like fights all the guards and escapes. Right, and it's like an action movie.
That's boring.
It's just new. I'm like, okay, but yeah, it's like you're not allowed to be a vulnerable feminine character anymore.
Nope, you're not.
I'm also not sure if Anya Taylor-Joy is the best choice of a voice actress for Princess Peach.
They no longer give like the voice acting roles in big movies to actual voice actors now. They give them to regular actors, which is annoying.
It's just to have her name on the credits.
It's funny. I started. I put I asked a question on Twitter the other night. I said, "What TV shows do you believe did the best for the longest period of time before they fell off or lost their mojo?" And got a lot of answers, and one of them was about the 12 Monkeys TV show. And I went back and started rewatching it, and it's great because Amanda Schull plays, remember yesterday we were talking about names like Tad, and what was the other one? Brint. Well, her name is Dr. Rayleigh, which when I hear, I just think of Dr. Riley, but it's Dr. Rayleigh. And she's very much a woman, and she's not a girl boss in the first couple of episodes. And I just remember the show having a good dynamic between her and Cole, who's played by Aaron Stanford, who's absolutely not a typical male lead. He's kind of scrubby and disheveled in his looks, which I kind of like. But she doesn't play, like, she's not beating up a bunch of people in the pilot of the episode. If anything, he's got to come in. He literally, in one scene, when he's about to splinter and leave this time period, he has to pick her up and carry her out of the room. And like, they would never let the dude just pick her up and carry her out now. He wouldn't be allowed to do that.
No,
So.
he wouldn't. I've been just watching Great British Baking Show.
Nice.
I can't deal with the plot lines that Hollywood is churning out these days. I just want to watch cakes.
I remember watching the first few seasons of that, maybe even just the first one or second one, but they like changed the host or added someone new like very soon. And then I was like, no, this isn't it.
Disco Jensen says, what about the current timeline makes you believe Peach won't be a girl boss in the movie? What I meant is that it's just not going to be as much of a focus as the article would make it seem like it would be in the first place. Like, it'll probably be there, but it won't be so over the top that it overpowers the story. At least that would be my assumption.
Okay. They're supposed to have hosts Noelle Fielding and Sandy Tosvig. And then the judges are Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood.
We're talking Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Bake Off or
Bake
Baking
Off.
Show?
Bake Off.
Bake Off.
Bake Off. Okay.
No, it's the baking show. No,
I was right the first time.
No, I'm looking at it right now, and it
Me
says
who's
Bake
never
Off.
watched it. Me who's never watched it.
Are there two different shows about British baking?
Wait,
Makes
is it the
perfect
Bake
sense.
Off or is it the Baking Show?
I'm seeing both.
Michael Cassell in the chat says 12
Mandela
Monkeys,
effect?
the series was great. Also in 12 Monkeys, there's some gender swaps in there that don't bother me because it was 2013 and you still had the plausible deniability that Hollywood wasn't doing it for political reasons, even though we know they probably were. There was a little bit of plausible deniability there.
I figured it out. They added this Ozzy Osbourne looking fella to the show, and when
Noelle Fielding.
when they did that,
I like him.
I like just the main guy and the woman, and they were like
The bald one?
Yeah.
No, that guy's new too.
You only like the judges.
I guess so.
I think they thought like we need more fun personalities to liven it up, and they don't judge any of
I
the
will
food.
say
They just
British
hang out.
television, like there's like raunchy, sassy. Like there's a lot of
think?
jokes that you would not hear.
Yeah, their
on
humor
American television.
humor is far more than ours.
On the Bake
Yeah.
Off specifically.
Even that one, yeah, the little
They're-
like they say stuff to the bakers. I'm like, oh, that
They
was
do.
mean.
One
Like,
said
oh my
like,
God.
I once put an egg wash on a priest, and I was like, what does that even mean? But whatever it means, it's probably raunchy. I don't know.
All right. Also, guys, if you didn't already have enough reasons to be annoyed with Bruce Springsteen, remember the whole Joe Rogan Spotify thing? Well, his tickets cost $5,000 on the high end if you want to go see him in concert. $5,000.
Aren't Taylor Swift tickets way more than that?
Yeah, but she's
If anything,
Taylor Swift.
Bruce Springsteen having much older fans, they would be way more likely to
Yeah,
be
but
able to afford that.
The Taylor Swift fans have just resigned themselves to not being able to ever buy a house. So they're fine
with
going
the
to see
Taylor Swift
concert.
fans, I just don't even understand like who is buying these front
it
row
just shows-
tickets. They're like tens of thousands of dollars.
It
Families,
shows the state
parents.
of things. I mean, Joe Rogan's new comedy club, there's rumors it's $900 a ticket.
Yep.
So it's like everyone's doing it, and the prices are all ridiculous.
Thank
But
you.
we're in a recession. Like,
Well-
how is anybody affording this right now? Other than a nosebleed seat, which is still like at least $1,000.
Well, that's
in
what,
some
you know,
places.
a couple of the boys at the company are like, let's go see a sports game. And then you start to really look at
You're
it.
like,
It's
you know
like
how
either,
expensive it is to go to see sports?
yeah, it's like,
Like,
$60 and you're as
baseball is
far
still-
as possible.
You're
Baseball
telling
is
me,
still
like,
fine. Is still fairly affordable.
In today's climate, there are hundreds of families per city everywhere in America which are going to spend over $10,000, maybe even $20,000 on all of the front rows seats. Like, that's crazy. That's hard for me to even believe, but they're out
The
there.
chat says
Must
that
be BlackRock.
the chat says corporations and businesses are buying them. So yeah.
Wait,
like,
for whom?
so
like,
probably
what
front
do you
row,
mean?
like so like major corporations buy the whole front row out maybe for executives or for higher ups.
As like a business expense?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Team building exercise for work to go
Yeah.
listen to Taylor Swift sing 22.
Really?
Or like, well, I'll see it in more common in like a sports stadium. Like you'll get season tickets in one of those like fancy booths in the boxes, and you'll bring like, you know, prospects or clients that you want to woo over into your
Like-
awesome booth, you know,
it's
for a
like
game or
trying
two.
to buy a house now. Like, you'll submit your application to buy a ticket to a Taylor Swift show and then find out that somebody else bought it in cash.
Now to like kind of white pill this situation, you know, like the March Madness is going on.
We got a $20 one there. Then we'll come
Clef
back.
the Misfit said, the show that went well the longest before falling off is objectively Doctor Who. Show made it 52 years before getting a showrunner who completely imploded it by putting in an unlikable woman doctor and destroying the canon.
There's a go check out my Twitter account at Brett Dasovic. It's a fantastic place, but there's a lot of really good answers in there. Some people were saying Seinfeld was objectively good right up until the very end. There's some very, very good ones in there that people brought up and shows that I didn't remember. Or things that, you know, maybe not, or Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was another one that's held up in high regard as good until the end.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then there were some that were funny. That was like somebody's like, people were arguing about Supernatural. They're like, Supernatural. They're like, yeah, the first 5 seasons were great. After that, I'm not so sure. People were having their own back and forths. I felt like I facilitated a discussion between people.
As for Doctor Who, I think it kind of was getting overly convoluted before they brought in, what was her name?
Who?
The female doctor.
Jodie Whittaker?
Jodie Whittaker, yeah. Like, even during 11.
Did anyone say The Simpsons?
And 12.
Yes, some people mentioned The Simpsons. But no, they did not, because I specified live action. I specified it had to be live action, because otherwise it would have just been people saying anime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew that was why you put that there.
Yeah,
that qualifier.
So there was a MASH got mentioned. MASH,
but the way things are now, I think like 4 seasons is all you can realistically hope for.
Yeah, like I've been rewatching House. House is good, objectively up through season 5. I like it through season 6. Season 7 is bad. Season 8 is meh. Somebody mentioned The Mentalist, and we had an actual disagreement because he's like, the last season was horrible. I'm like, actually, I think the season before it was bad when they were trying to figure out how to finish off the Red John storyline, and it absolutely, like, once they finished off this long overarching story that they seemed to not know how to finish, it got back on track because it wasn't handcuffed to the formula that it was in anymore. So, you know, there's some good discussions to be had, because longevity is very difficult in TV. I joke all the time about how I can watch a show for like a season and a half, 3.5, 3.33333. I can just quit in the middle. I don't even need to finish that season. If you lose my interest, you lose my interest.
Were most of these answers like procedurals?
I mean, those seem to be the ones that have the, like, if you find a way to make a good procedural, and then you find a way to just kind of freshen it up every once in a while, that gives you the best hope for success. But Breaking Bad isn't a procedural.
That's true.
So a lot of the answers were very much serialized drama. So good to see.
True.
Somebody says Friends. Yes, The Sopranos got mentioned. Friends got mentioned. Castle.
No,
I liked
overrated.
Castle up through season 6 and 7. I was not a fan of the last of it. So.
Friends overrated.
Yeah, but it's not saying if the show's good or not. It's saying if it fell off. So if you didn't like it from the get-go, that's one thing.
Yeah,
but
like,
if you
we're
know,
saying,
if you
like,
liked the first few seasons,
It stayed consistently mediocre throughout.
A lot of people believe Gotham actually was one of the few shows that got better, because the first season was very much like an episode of the week type thing, and then it became heavily serialized.
Isn't that funny though, that like how everything's flipped? Like 10-15 years ago, the first season of a show, because they're just trying things out, more often than not, is the crappy season. And now we're getting season 1s that they invest. They throw everything into season 1, and then everything after that sucks.
Well, the general, from what I understand, like when you were making network television, right? The idea is like the first season of a network television show that's a procedural, you just make the pilot 24 times. Like you don't deviate all that much. You can't deviate until you start getting into season 2 and 3, which actually makes more sense, because that's when you actually have spent enough time with these characters to be invested in what the hell their home life is like, or what the hell they do in their free time. So it actually makes perfect sense to me. There's some, Grimm is fantastic. You are right there. There's some great suggestions there. Yeah. All right, and one more thing. We've got an update very quickly here on Amanda Bynes. They're extending the psych hold. They're saying that she had actually been wandering around in the streets for several days.
Wow.
So, like, we really hope. I really hope that she gets all the help she can.
Does she live with anyone who would even
her
put
fiance.
A missing persons report on her? Is her fiance even still in the picture? Because no one had any idea that she was just wandering in public.
It says sources close to her say that she could have been in the street for several days. We're told her car was towed on March 15th in Long Beach, 40 miles away from her home and 25 miles away from downtown LA, where she was actually found. So that is, hopefully she's getting some help. And I would like to know more about, what happened, because she was, the last I understood, still engaged. They had problems, but were working it out. So obviously that can't be true. Otherwise he would have filed a missing persons report.
And I wonder, well, I mean, she might have lied about where she was going or something, but I wondered if she's in LA just wandering the streets, do people recognize her?
I wouldn't have.
Is she unrecognizable at this point?
I think she's still got a very. I think the face. She's got a face tattoo.
I used to get her confused with Miley Cyrus a lot, like in her younger days.
Kind of, a little
but
bit.
Now, no, not at all. And
I thought she was gonna get that tattoo removed, but I guess she didn't.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully she gets the help that she needs. We can hope that she gets what's best for her. So that's a scary thing to have happen to a person. All right, we're gonna get started, guys. So we did the cringe of the day. I'm so glad that's over with. I'm so glad that's over with.
And just a reminder, we're still reading $20 super chats. It's a controversial decision. Yes. I know some of you don't like it, but we're gonna keep going.
I enjoy it.
I enjoy it because you guys get to interject in real time if you care about the issue.
It also seems like they're inherently sassier. Like they can be sassier when they've got something serious to say.
Yes, if you disagree with us, you can immediately interrupt.
And generally speaking, YouTube's dumb. So like if you do a $5 super chat, like you get less characters to use than if it's a higher dollar amount. So just because of YouTube's dumb rules.
Rhaegar Targaryen says, "Who is Amanda Bynes?" Well, she was in the masterpiece
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
She's a model and an actress, and she was in the movie Uncut Gems.
And her brother was found with ghost guns in New York City. She was in the masterpiece, the underrated Paul Giamatti masterpiece, Big Fat Liar, with Donald Faison. It's very good. And Frankie Muniz, who is now a race car driver professionally.
Also, All That.
Yes.
And The Amanda Show.
Those ones, I didn't watch.
The Amanda Show was awesome.
Yeah. I just remember being like, wow, she was great in that movie. So everyone should go watch Big Fat Liar. I have literally no clue where you would find that one. It's probably on some streaming service. So, all right, we're going to get started. So Twice's Chaeyoung, K-pop star, apologizes for a very bad symbol from the bad guy from the 1940s. Do you know who I'm talking about, Mary? He's a bad person. He's a bad person.
Are we allowed to say the name of this symbol that she was wearing?
It's from the Yahtzees. The alt-right Yahtzees, who were actually socialists, wore this symbol. You can see it on the screen there. And what it is, it's actually just a Sid Vicious shirt from the Sex Pistols.
Wait, did you show the picture?
I'm going to put it on screen here. So it's literally just it's a picture of Sid Vicious. And so it's literally it's the worst case of like the person who gets caught wearing a band shirt from a person they've never heard of. Like the people
she probably has no idea who Sid Vicious is. Yeah. I would be surprised if she's never been educated on the fact that a swastika is like a controversial racially charged symbol.
But not just that, ladies and gentlemen.
Despite being from Korea, I thought that was like a more widely known thing. Yeah. And then in another photo, she, I wouldn't say she was caught. This is just public. She was wearing a tube top that has a big Q on it with the U.S. flag.
Yeah.
And
I want one.
It says "We Go All" under the Q.
As somebody who's never looked up Q online, I want one now, just because the Sid Vicious shirt reminds you that Sid Vicious was part of the punk rock anti-establishment movement, who very frequently wore symbols that were designed to get a rise out of people. They wanted to rile up the establishment. And what's funny here is I decided to ask ChatGPT. I had a question for ChatGPT where I basically, I really want to show it's you, me, and me, like you, me, and ChatGPT. That'll be a show someday, or you me, and like me and AI. So I asked the question. Oh, did it go away? I said, was Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols a Yahtzee or anti-Semitic? We know the answer to this, but it says Sid Vicious, the bassist for the Sex Pistols, was known for his controversial behavior and statements, but there is no clear evidence that he was a Yahtzee or openly anti-Semitic. It's interesting that an AI program can discern the difference between these things, but people on Twitter seem to not be able to.
So I've talked about this a lot, in how, like, with the rise of the internet, right? You can't just point to a place like California and be like, oh, that's how they act. Like, people do, like, There are people in Korea that are commenting on American politicians and yelling at them and complaining at them. Yeah. And I think we're kind of seeing the reverse of this, where it's like Americans or maybe even people of a certain descent are like, yo, this is super effed up. But it's like, yo, she's Korean.
Yeah.
Like, she is removed from this situation. Not a good look, but at the same time, like, you can't expect someone in a foreign country to understand what you understand and live the way that you live. Like, it makes no sense.
It's obviously suspicious that this happened 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
She is dressed by stylists who put a lot of thought into what she's wearing, and it wasn't done to
I'd argue she could have just gone to a Goodwill.
Like,
she's not getting that QAnon shirt at the Goodwill.
Are you not?
Korea doesn't have a Goodwill. And also, Korean pop stars aren't allowed to have self-expression. Their self-expression is a product made by other people, committees of people. They're manufactured. In fact, other people were saying, this is why K-pop stars should finish high school, like K-pop idols should finish high school before they debut. Even just using the language debut, you know, it's a planned thing.
It's a product.
It's a process with a set timeline, with very set stages that is managed by people above them. Almost nothing they do is about personal expression. All of this was decided for her. So my question is, who was the stylist and what was their intention? Because the stylist has to know enough English to interpret this. And where do you find a QAnon tube top unless you're specifically looking for one?
Because of like the way, you know, we make t-shirts for $1, you know, not even. We make them for pennies. And like this happens in, I've been talking about sports all day. This happens in sports teams. They'll make, you know, in the Super Bowl, they'll have a t-shirt for each team saying, we won. Well, the team that loses, all those shirts basically get donated to like another country.
Yeah.
And so you see this kind of stuff, t-shirts that make no sense, that are ridiculous. And I truly think that she probably could have just gone to a thrift shop, or maybe was just looking at thrifty American styles, and this came up, not realizing what it meant. You know, I don't think there's any kind of like conspiracy here.
Is South Korea westernized enough that, we have one from Ryan that says, as someone from DTLA, honestly, there are a ton of naked homeless people that roam the streets, so would not be shocked if some were at one point a celebrity. Also, there are people who have soup tattooed because of the vibes.
Vibes.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Soup?
But yeah, like, and it's not like she looked super well kept and out of place if there's a bunch of homeless people downtown.
I guess. So. I would just think, like, would people not recognize her face?
Yeah, you'd think.
But I don't know if people are even looking at the faces of homeless people anymore.
Okay, so you were saying?
Like I was asking, is South Korea westernized enough that they would have an education on the meaning of a swastika? I get maybe QAnon, you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
But a swastika?
Yeah.
Like,
sure,
it's
but like,
pretty obvious.
I mean, I can't even see it. I was looking for it in this photo. I can't even see it on the t-shirt unless it's blurred or something. Is it being blocked?
They might have blurred it. It's on his shirt. It's on the shirt that he's wearing in the picture of her.
Yeah.
So in the picture, it's a picture of Sid Vicious wearing the swastika on his shirt.
Oh, that giant one. Okay, yeah, I see
that giant one. Oh, the huge one right there in the middle of the shirt.
Yeah. So
I was looking at the photo of her with like. Okay. This is some weird t-shirt inception going on.
Yeah, it is.
She's not wearing the t-shirt he wore. She's wearing a t-shirt of him wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, this is ridiculous.
Yep.
So,
yes.
I literally I feel like a graphic designer that didn't know anything about like world affairs, but just like Sex Pistols bassist, and found the first image on Google and slapped it on a t-shirt, and then here we are.
I don't know.
I don't think there's.
I don't know. Nothing that K-pop stars wear is, I guess, planned by them. It's always other people that make their image for them. Everything that they choose is intentional and thought out. I don't buy that it was just like, oops, like we accidentally pissed off everyone on the internet and now you've heard of Chaeyoung from Twice.
Yeah.
Like, that's just all too convenient. So here was her apology. She said, I sincerely apologize regarding the Instagram post. I didn't correctly recognize the meaning of the tilted swastika in the t-shirt I wore. I deeply apologize for not thoroughly reviewing it, causing concern. I will pay absolute attention in the future to prevent any situations similar from happening again. Sincerely apologize again. But she didn't address the QAnon tube top.
She's like, but seriously, like Q all the way.
Yeah, but seriously, where we go one, we go all.
She's like
so.
she's like 8D chest all the way. All the way to the White House, 2024. Down with George Soros.
But with the amount that like Taylor Swift fans overanalyze all of the symbolism in her concerts and her lyrics and her music videos, things she wears, things she posts, they're more like QAnon conspiracy theorists than actual
it's like
conspiracy theorists.
The OK symbol that you make with your hand. Yeah. Like, I don't even know. I didn't want to throw it up because I'm like, oh, is YouTube going to get mad? But it's like you literally go to a amusement park, and because it's so loud, that's the symbol for like, we're good to go, start the ride.
Yeah.
Because the employees can't hear each other.
Yeah.
So they like, why is this controversial? You know, people, you're going to find problems if you go searching for them.
It's also a problem
find a way to get offended.
with globalization. If there wasn't the globalization of entertainment, this wouldn't be an issue because it wouldn't be a concern over there the way it is here.
Yeah,
it's like
all
when
of the Western fans are
Yeah.
saying there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse that you wouldn't know the meaning of it, etc. But
like
you're coming
when,
at it from your own culture's perspective. You have no idea what she was raised being taught.
It's
or
like
not
the people
taught.
who have called like Idris Elba an African American. He's like, not from America. I'm British.
Yeah, it's like a failed attempt at seeming like a racially sensitive gesture.
Yeah.
And then just totally falls on its face.
You're right though about Taylor
practice.
Swift fans who look. It's like pareidolia. They see stuff that isn't there. It's like they look into the clouds of Taylor Swift and make out whatever they want from all of it.
No, I saw this post from a Swiftie account on Facebook. It said red letters on Taylor Swift's 22 shirts change, and it's a secret message spelling out "Speak Now Taylor's version." Once you unscramble the letters, I decided to make this picture and put the letters together just for fun, and I think she's onto something.
Get a job.
Taylor is trying to put our detective skills to work again.
Yep. It's weird. That's as Q as anything.
Ridiculous.
That's absolutely as Q as anything
Like,
that they talk
all
about.
this
on the other
brain
side.
power being used for absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Well, we live in what did you call it? You called it the age of decadence, where you have the time and the freedom to just look for hidden meanings in Taylor Swift lyrics and videos. And maybe this is the fault of Marvel and the Easter eggs. So now people look for Easter eggs in everything.
No, yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift music videos do have Easter eggs because she's just playing into it. The fans love the camaraderie of like searching for all of the hints and the clues as to what's coming next. And it's just, you know, being excited about the next product that is going to be sold to you.
Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait to be a good consumer.
And people like, you know, people ish post on the internet, but there's people that just ish live their lives. Like their whole life is just an ish post, you know? So
you'd rather have a fulfilling life and be a prolific shit poster than the other way around.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people think if you shit post, you don't have a fulfilling life, a personal life.
And
but
you disagree?
I think it's the other way around. If you're not shit posting, then you're just letting all of your shit out in real life.
I guess we can say the word.
And they're right, and he's right in the chat. It says it's the same as all the kids who wear Nirvana shirts but have never heard of the band. Yeah, there's people who like buy Nirvana shirts from Target and then like they think it's a brand name.
No, they don't. That's trolling.
I guarantee
you guys are literally getting trolled by 15-year-olds.
Women. I guarantee you there's 12-year-old girls who have no idea
there's
that
children
Nirvana
wearing
is a band.
Sublime, and it's like when you actually know what music they make, it's like this doesn't make sense.
I was just listening to April 29th, 1982 this morning.
A good song.
Just like LA riots. It's all cyclical, right? Like all these things come and go.
That's why I don't believe the 90s were some kind of utopia of racial harmony.
It's not that it wasn't. It's that people just weren't as hyper connected as they are on the internet now. So you weren't arguing. Like it likely was just as there was just as much lack of harmony in certain places. You just didn't come home and argue with people on the internet for hours at a time afterwards.
Right. A lot of people are saying that this whole situation is getting misjudged.
How so?
Because I saw this tweet that worded it this way. They said, K-pop stars typically perform in clothes selected by stylists who are looking at design, fonts, etc., and paying less attention to the meaning. This is not the first time this kind of thing has happened, and usually it's just kind of funny. So then they posted this picture of a different K-pop star wearing a flannel with the print MILF Hunter on it. And I don't think that they know what that means.
Probably not.
Yeah, there was another situation where a different K-pop star wore a military uniform that accidentally did have an actual swastika on a patch she was wearing.
I love he's like
and then she had to like apologize. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with these K-pop stars. It's not them apologizing. It's the company that owns their group apologizing. Yeah. It's not the same thing as Western pop stars that make their own creative decisions.
You know, as you say that, I'm kind of thinking maybe this was planned because I refuse to believe there's anything as bad press. So, like you said, now everyone knows of this Chae Young person. So maybe this was a goal all along. Be like, hey, all you have to do is wear this silly T-shirt. You're gonna piss off.
That means
thousands of Americans.
They're playing with the derangement syndrome of Westerners so astutely. Like they know just what will trigger us.
Yeah, I believe it. That honestly, yeah. I feel like that's what it was. I feel like that's what it was. They're like, hey, we're gonna do something controversial, right? We're gonna fire up the internet. Everyone's gonna be talking about you.
Fire up the internet.
Yeah.
We're gonna fire up the internet. All right, Mary. We got some super chats there.
RS Clef the Misfit said, if y'all could control one poorly handled Hollywood IP, which one do you think you could make the best product out of? For me, it's probably Ninja Turtles. Also, please make a Crisis Actor shirt.
Yeah, I love that idea, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that.
It should just be silhouettes of you and Mary. Like almost like the anonymous kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like who is the Crisis Actor?
What do you believe property do you think you could handle best?
That's tough. I don't know. You go first.
I can't think of one that I could handle best, but I can think of one that I would want to see done well enough would be to either be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which means hiring the right people, which would mean if we were making it into a movie would be returning to live action, doing it with animatronics and people in the suits from Jim Henson's Creature Shop, or I would make sure to hire the right people to do a G.I. Joe movie and actually make it patriotic and do that.
The only franchises I like are things that I think should never be touched by anyone ever again.
Like what?
So, meaning Twilight, Lord of the Rings, and hopefully no one ever touches anything that was done by C.S. Lewis. That's about it. And they should never be developed ever again. So I wouldn't want to take control of any franchise because I'm tired of just franchises. Like I want other things than that.
I would say not the superhero, not the cape genre, but maybe like a post-apocalyptic, like The Walking Dead, because my big critique of Hollywood is they don't kill off the main characters nearly enough. They need to do drastic plots where they kill your favorite character. They just need to do it.
Why?
Yeah. Because like...
So there's any stakes
Not everything, there's stakes, not everything's sunshine and rainbows. Like that's the one thing The Walking did. I mean, people knew it was coming, but they killed Rick.
Yeah.
Should have happened sooner. Should have happened
really
spoiler
seasons.
alert.
Dude,
they didn't kill
the
Rick.
show's done.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't.
He's literally in the middle of they're filming a show right now. They're filming the.
They didn't confirm nor deny, but
no, they saw him in production for that recently. His spinoff.
Is it a prequel though, or is
no?
it...
I don't. I mean,
he left the show, but
he can't do a prequel.
He got like
He's
he was
killed.
like he was on death's door and he rode off on a horse, and that's how they left it. So,
I'm saying kill the multiverse.
He got like rescued by helicopter people or something.
Maybe that's the story? I don't remember that scene
With
happening.
no stakes, it is pointless to watch most of this stuff when there's no stakes and everyone can come back.
So for example, For example, when they killed when Glenn died, no one expected that. It was like fan favorite character.
That was actually like really bad though. Like
that's when I feel like
that's when I feel like we started like checking out because Negan was just like so.
But that's reality, right? Like to me, I'm like, okay, maybe your favorite character's gone, but like that would happen. Your best friend in that situation might die, you know? So it's like, but that would be my answer. Sorry to go on a tangent. Yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic
Francisco
show.
Sanchez Jr. said, Brett, next question. What show bounced back big from a bad meh season? For me, what is that? Shield season 6 was meh, but season 7 was fantastic. Mary, secret Blackpink fan? No, I'm not a K-pop fan.
I would say that House had an abysmal season 7, and season 8 finished the show off fairly strong. Like I said before, I think The Mentalist had a really rough couple of seasons when they were trying to figure out how to finish off the Red John storyline. And then once they got rid of that storyline and they moved the show to Texas, which was a weird thing for them to do, to move the show from, I mean, the show didn't physically move to Texas, but the set for where it was supposed to take place moved to Texas, and they started being part of the FBI. I thought they finished the show very strong and leaned into the best aspects of the Jane character and found a way to have him end up with Lisbon, even though that never really felt like a romantic relationship to me. They pulled it off well enough that I bought it fine. Like it never came off to me as a romantic relationship. He always seemed too broken of a person to me, and I would actually like to I would like to see somebody do an interesting character study on that character, because he's very much a contradiction in terms, because he gets what he wants through manipulation of other people, which oftentimes meaning like he seems soft and approachable, but he's extremely cold and manipulative to most people. And it's very interesting for a character that's inherently not threatening or intimidating. But yeah, I think season 8 finished good for it.
That reminds me of Monk, kind of like the character you're describing, and I think they're bringing that show back.
They're making a movie. They're doing a movie of it.
He's a good actor, man.
Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah, I think he's underrated. I know people don't really trash talk him, but I think
I underrated. Like he's kind of a regular. I feel like him and the guy who played Michael Scott are both really, really good actors who are going to be known for one role for most of their lives.
Well, you know, the difference between those two, though, what's his name again?
What?
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
He's I think he's like a theater guy. I think he's like a Broadway guy.
A lot of them are.
So, you know, you're not
Jason Alexander was too before he did Seinfeld. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
RS Dagner Chap said, everything in the Mario trailer seems fine. Looking forward to seeing it. Even if it's meh, it still beats the first Mario Bros. Movie.
Well, I thought a lot of people love the first Mario Bros. Movie because it's so camp, because it's so ridiculous.
Camp can only take you so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was the 90s, or was that one the 80s? That might have been the late 80s.
No Tax, Good Tax said, I'm shocked Noelle Fielding hasn't been canceled after The Mighty Boosh.
I've
never seen that.
I feel like old works are being grandfathered in now. Like now you got to do it in public. To get
also, I found out about this. The Great British Baking Show has been accused of cultural appropriation many times because they have like different themed weeks after like Mexican and Japanese and China and France and all of this stuff. Well, I guess France doesn't matter because French people are white, but.
You need to accept the culture, but not like that.
Yeah.
You need to accept the culture, but not like that.
Like I saw them open up a Mexican-themed challenge wearing sombreros and serapes.
I remember that.
And they got in trouble for that.
I remember, I didn't watch it, but I remember the clip online, and it was like somebody on Twitter who was like, and this is okay with you?
Like, hello?
Someone tested that theory. It was this white guy, and he went down to Mexico and wore a sombrero and like I think I'm probably gonna get the term wrong, but poncho, is that the right term? Anyway, he's going around asking the locals like, do you like my outfit? What do you think? And they loved it.
Yeah.
So like this idea that cultural appropriation is bad is just
that
was just saying we got a $20 from OJ for me with no message.
Thank you. That was like a PragerU thing with like the guy goes down.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the super chats are updating for me.
All right.
But I'm still looking at them.
Let's hold off and we will. You might have to log back into your.
I checked and then that wasn't the problem, so I don't know.
All right. We're going to move on. We will come back to the rest of them, guys. All right. So Blac Chyna and Doja Cat are both in the news for a unique story, are they not?
Doja Cat just announced that she's in a recovery period for cosmetic surgery. Mm-hmm. And when fans guessed what she got done, they said, your boobs are bigger, aren't they? And she said, nope, they're smaller. She got a breast reduction and told everyone that her new size is 32C, even though no one asked.
She's like, well, don't you want to know?
And she also announced that she got lipo in her thighs. And this is just bizarre to me because I think she looked fine before.
Yeah, she looked fine. I mean, eyebrows notwithstanding.
Yeah, the eyebrows, they grow back.
Yeah.
The fat in your thighs, it will not grow back once you mechanically suck it out.
Yeah. It's a dang shame. Like, I don't know if you've seen the music video "Moo" that she did.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it's funny because she literally blew up on the internet from having her tits out on camera.
Yeah.
And then now she's getting a breast reduction. It's kind of ironic.
I've noticed her she has like kind of let herself go though, like as she rose to stardom, which I think a lot of people do.
Only in ways that can be reversed. Like she's shaved her head, she's shaved her eyebrows, started doing her makeup all weird, but she's still an attractive woman. She just does everything she possibly can to look less attractive.
Reminds me of like those weird.
Why do you think that is?
I think just celebrities, like Hollywood really like messes with people's sense of self, and she just has a strange relationship to her body image.
I wonder if it's just like you see yourself on a camera like reflected back at you that often, you're not going to be able to escape that.
No one can handle that, really.
I literally, like, when I'm editing clips of this, I don't look at me or the video, like, if I don't have to ever. Like, I don't want to look at myself in that way. Like, I don't want to develop.
It's not natural.
Yeah, like I don't want to develop any more of a complex than I already have about the way I look.
It seems like
I'm fine with my current level of body dysmorphia. Thank you very much.
Her tweet said, "Got my titties done and my beep bedazzled." You can guess what that censored word was. Yes. I'm not going to say it on the show.
Rightfully so.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't think this should be immediately met with a bunch of praise. Yeah. Like it is.
Well, she's probably doing it for health reasons.
No.
Like, not because they're just, she wanted to be lighter.
She just said, she tweeted like back in November, I just want to pull them up because my shirts aren't fitting the way that I want them to. So it wasn't a health issue at all. People are just reflexively praising any cosmetic surgery or intervention because that's what we've been trained to do, even and especially in regard to gender affirmation stuff. But another story I saw in contrast to this. Now, by the way, I think Doja Cat announced this because she has an album coming out called Hellmouth.
And they always have to announce stuff when there's a new album coming out. A new form of abuse has just befell them, like as soon as they have an album coming out or a book coming out.
It could be a method acting thing, because remember when The Weeknd was coming out with his album, he wore like the like car accident makeup and stuff for like, he was going around public. He was like method acting with it, with like the big face wrap and stitches and stuff. And that was all to promote like this character he was developing in this new album. It's like an actual story he's telling. So it could be something like that, where she's just like going completely over the top in this weird character that she's in.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never thought Doja Cat was that creative.
I would go with the word nuts, but
yeah,
I understand.
Her online presence is like worrying. She just seems like someone who can't handle having an online presence very well. But another story here, in contrast, is that Blac Chyna has completely documented the process she's going through of reversing all of her cosmetic procedures. Good. So she is warning women not to get the procedures she has gotten because they're literally dangerous. Mm-hmm. She's talking about silicone injections that she's gotten in her butt, and they literally can cause an autoimmune response that makes your body start killing itself and attacking itself.
Yep.
And it can literally like cause death and serious illness at a very young age. She said she got this when she was 19, which is super young. And now she's tired of it. It's obviously not flattering, which is like kudos to her for even realizing that, because a lot of people who go too far with these cosmetic procedures, they lose sight of what they actually look like and don't realize how bad it looks to everyone else.
I feel really bad for a lot of these women that have to be involved in industry that's basically going to create a form of body dysmorphia for all of them. Like, it's very difficult to escape
maybe it's just a different type of it supplanting what we have now. So, yeah, like having the BBL look is going out of style, and now people will just want to be skinny again. Which I guess is preferable because it's not something you need to go under the knife for.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be a type of body that's in fashion.
Well, I think people are realizing, too, that being overly big and having, like, because, like, even if she was in shape, like, you're adding how much weight with these, you know, injections and everything. So it's just like, it's like, why are you making yourself uncomfortable? Who are you impressing?
It literally looks painful.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the dumbest thing because a lot of this stuff is irreversible. Yes, you can get it removed, but you cannot go back to the way it was before.
Your skin has still been like stretched and there are permanent.
And I don't know why it's controversial to say, hold up, pump the brakes. Let's just not cut and mutilate bodies. You know, like it should like, be comfortable with who you are, embrace hard work. Diets suck, eating healthy sucks, working out sucks, but you have to do it.
That's the crazy part though. Like they don't want to look how they would look ideally if they had a proper diet and exercise routine. They want to look how it's impossible for anyone to naturally look.
Yeah.
So you can only go to surgery for that at the end of the day. So now they have like mechanically sucked out the silicone from her butt. And she said that this procedure takes 4 hours ordinarily. Oh. It took them 8.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
For hers, because she's an extreme case.
Yep.
But it's no joke. Like you can get sick and die from having silicone in your body, including breast implants. Like it's a common thing.
You guys know Jazz Jennings?
Yeah.
I just saw a clip where, because of the surgery that she got, her mom has to like apply this type of cream or medicine every day, or the surgery is going to like start to heal and close up. And it's like, how much money? And the mom's upset over this. And she realizes, she's like, she won't let me. I don't know what's going to happen when she goes off to college and she doesn't take her medicine. Because mom's like, I spent $10,000 on something and I'm not getting the results I'm looking for. You know, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Her mom said that?
Her mom, like, that's the sentiment. She's like, we spent all this money. I'm not letting the wound heal, essentially.
Okay, Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah. So
what a psycho.
And I know that's a little bit different.
The new
than
like
beauty
paying for your kids'
but,
college is paying for your kids' gender reassignment.
But it's not just that. It's not just gender, because I don't want it to just become like a conversation about the gender stuff. It's also like 18-year-olds getting nose jobs.
Yeah. It's more than that though, because Bella Hadid said she got a nose job at 14.
Yeah.
14? That doesn't even sound like it should be legal.
Parents, if you're letting your kids cut flesh off their body, you're evil.
No matter what the stated reason is.
Yeah, like the only time, like there's exceptions to the rule. Some people have terrible noses and they can't breathe, so they'll get nose surgery. That's not a nose job. Very different, you know?
Well, often people will
some people get Botox
it corrected and then like get a cosmetic addition to it at the same time.
Right. Some people get Botox because they have migraines, you know, and it's been proven to work. But it's like those are so far and few between, you know, those are the exceptions to the rule. Like the elective surgeries need to end, you know, they need to.
Yeah. So another thing she's doing
I don't know about that. It's their choice to do it, but it's not healthy.
I disagree. I think as a culture, we're embracing that it's okay to mutilate yourself.
Totally. Yeah.
I think that's wrong. We need to change that.
It's like part of the whole like disembodiment thing. Like we're not connected to our own bodies anymore.
Yeah.
I saw this tweet that asked like, okay, pro-lifers, if there were a way to remove a fetus from the womb and put it in an artificial womb safely, then would you agree to that proposal if it were an option? And I voted no, because it's like I shouldn't need to like further normalize our like disconnect between procreation and the human body, you know. But that's another thing.
Right.
She also, Blac Chyna has documented that she is getting all of the filler in her face dissolved as well. She had it in her jawline and her cheekbones really big. Like and lips obviously too. I'm sure there's Botox too. Like, she just said that she's tired of looking this way. She thinks it's not flattering, and she was losing a sense for how she actually looked. She feels like she outgrew it. Yeah, she said even when I would get my makeup done, they would contour it so it would be even more dramatic. So I'd be looking like Jigsaw. And it's like, damn, I thought that only other people noticed that you looked like that. I thought you thought it looked good, but I don't know how, but she woke up to the fact that it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And I think this needs to happen more often. Everyone is like kind of hopping on the train of reversing these things, these interventions. And she filmed a video with her doctor after the fact, and he said, like, yeah, I'm seeing a lot more people come in to get these things reversed, BBLs reversed, silicone injections reversed, fillers dissolved, etc., because they're realizing they didn't want to be seen this way. Like, it's literally portraying an overly sexualized version of yourself, like a caricature.
Yeah, and it's like there's so many things you can do where you're not doing. Like, I just saw another video of, like, there's this spa or something in Korea, and they will find your perfect color. So they spend like 2 hours, and they have lights, they have a mirror, and they put this color over your like around your neck, and see what makes you look the best. Like multiple shades of green, multiple shades of blue. They go through all of it for clothing.
Okay, for clothing. Okay.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, you can make yourself look drastically different with the right clothing, with fitting clothes, with working out, right? The right diet. It's like you can achieve different looks doing that. You don't need to go under the knife, And I'm glad though that Blac Chyna, like, I'm glad that there's this movement to reverse this, but just know, like, it's not I don't even like that term, reversing it, because are you truly reversing, going back to what you were before?
There's no way to go back completely.
Right. So it's like almost, I don't like the way they're spinning this. Like, it's like, oh, if you get it done, you can just get it undone. Not really.
Yeah, a lot of these things are not reversible for a lot of people. The effects will stay there. You're not going to look how you would have looked if you had never gotten the procedure in the first place. Just the reality. I even saw Jeffree Star talk about this.
What did he say?
He said that he got silicone injections in his lips when he was younger because he didn't know that it was bad to do that. Yeah. And now, like, had to get these bits of silicone surgically removed from his lips because they settle and they move and they degrade inside you and then, like, separate. And it's permanent stuff. It's not stuff like, that just like.
I'm just thinking, like, how is he supposed to eat?
Disappears.
After that surgery,
exactly. And even when you get the Juvederm, the supposedly like non-permanent things, it still moves away from where they originally injected it and basically goes out around your lips.
Mouth, yeah.
So you look like a sex doll. Like, you don't look like a person anymore. And clearly, like, a lot of people who get these procedures just totally lose sight of what they look like, because to everyone else it's like, yikes, like, you need to stop, and then they just keep going and going and going. There are so many extreme examples of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think this says about the culture as far as change right now? Is this a sign of a greater cultural shift, or is this simply a few isolated cases?
We were like calling it debimboification before the show started.
Yep. Well, there's the one girl who had the giant uniboob because one of them popped, had to have them removed because of
mono boob or uniboob, whatever you prefer to call it.
As much as I'd hope this is like the start of a culture shift, I don't think it is. I think this is Blac Chyna's 34 years old. I think she's matured and she's grown up a lot, and she's realized this was stupid. Jeffree Star is older. Yeah, I think he might be even in his 40s, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not, but I think this is just people, influencers, entertainers growing up. I don't know if there's like Doja Cat, like.
Doja Cat didn't have initial surgery. She just had her natural breast size reduced.
Right. Doja Cat, I don't know. Like, to me, Doja Cat's just inspiring kids to go under the knife. It's not saying don't do this, And Blac Chyna's like, oh, I should have never done it. Big regret, big mistake. But I don't know if kids are going to hear that message. Who are they going to relate to? 34-year-old Blac Chyna or 27-year-old Doja Cat?
Why are the only options now to go under the knife to become a gender-neutral blob, or to go under the knife and become a sex doll?
Yeah.
Like, why have we gotten to this point? It's very disheartening. And then we see all of these scaremongering articles about how we can't possibly return back to heroin chic, God forbid, anything but that. And all that was just, people going on restricted diets to be skinny. I mean, that's so harmless compared to looking like a queen ant. Like, there are things that are normalized now that you can only get from surgery.
There's more money to be made from the pharmaceutical industry that can push the surgery.
Then the diet industry, I mean, both are lucrative.
And we know that because of whether you want to say social media or the food that we have in this country, that, kids are taking longer to mature. So it's like, even though they're 18, they're still a lot younger. It's not, an 18-year-old in 1960 is a lot more mature and grown up than an 18-year-old today. And they go, they're legal adults, so they go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, of course, you'll look great. Do this and that and this. And then
how are they paying for it?
Taking loans out.
Sometimes charity organizations, private, charity organizations pay for it themselves.
Yeah, and banks will just give Bank of America announced they're giving home loans to people of color, and you don't there's nothing you need to do to qualify other than be a person of color. So it's like the banks are in on it too. They're getting you tied up.
Yeah, but they're not doing that for plastic surgery, are they?
If they did, that would be pretty.
I hope not.
I don't think they're doing that for plastic surgery.
I hope not. But you do see people that are pretty much middle class afford these extremely expensive surgeries, and they're teenagers. So it's like, who's paying for it? Where's that money coming
NGOs.
from? Or they're indebting themselves.
BlackRock.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, in a lot of it could be for people that are looking to create. Remember, a lot of this next generation no longer looks at the idea of being an influencer as some pie in the sky idea. They write it down as their actual career goal. So you could think of it for the ones that are the most cynical, that they look at spending that money on their physical appearance, whether it's body dysmorphia or not. They look at it as an investment on their future because they want to be as camera ready as possible.
It's just so
Celebrities
disgusting.
do that all the time. Celebrities spend thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars to make their bodies look a certain way, not just with plastic surgery, but like you said, Juvederm, any type of filler, things like that. Personal trainers, obviously, but I'm saying their body, their image, how they look is core to their business model.
It's 100% true, and I can relate in a way because I got LASIK, and that's not a cosmetic surgery. Yeah. I couldn't see, but I won't lie.
You're very young to be a LASIK patient.
I was tired of wearing glasses.
No, I
want to
get LASIK. I'm eventually going to do it.
They usually encourage you to wait a lot
You just have
longer.
to make sure your eyes haven't changed. I think it's 2 years. So the last however many appointments, my eyes hadn't changed. They hadn't gotten worse. But I got LASIK done, and there's an element to that. It's like, yes, I want to be able to see without wearing glasses, but it's like, glasses aren't a part of my wardrobe anymore. So that does cross your mind. So I understand what you're saying, Brett, that, it is an investment in my future. I wasn't just thinking about the next day waking up and seeing. I was thinking about the next summer. I can swim without wearing glasses and stuff so that's absolutely the case. People are thinking ahead and investing in themselves.
Yep.
In a bad way.
It's okay, then I'll ask one question before we move on. Would be, how would either of you, work culturally to change the perception of people's perceptions of themselves so that they no longer felt the need to get plastic surgery done to change how they look?
Have you seen these clips of the most busted girls going on whatever and saying they're 10s?
Yeah.
Where are we at right now with our self-perception? Be realistic. Not have some humility, because I'm sure
Mary, we've been telling women for decades that they're perfect just the way they are. So how are we supposed to, what are we supposed to say? Are we supposed to tell them not to believe it now? You're perfect just the way you are. You're a princess. You deserve, so what if you're fat and ugly? You deserve a prince who's 6 feet tall and makes six figures.
It should have never been that. It should have been
you were adequate
the way
you are.
Well, maybe not adequate, but you have inherent value other than how you look. That's just a fact.
I think religion
they just forgot that we're stupid and they didn't specify what they meant by that. Damn it!
Or was it a deception the whole time?
I think religion plays a role in it, because growing up in a religious household, that comes up. God created you in this way. Right.
Sketch
so it's
therapy.
like,
Are they talking about? Oh, they're talking about because my eyes are 2 different colors. He said most
That's
people
cool.
would kill for 2 different color eyes. It's like, did you know that on my license for years I just there wasn't a form to fill it out, so I just wrote blue. I don't have either. Neither of them are blue.
How rare is that? What do they call that again?
Heterochromia. But one's hazel, one's brown, so I just put blue.
So cool.
Now they have one.
Kellen, what were you saying?
About what?
Before we got on that.
You were
saying something. I don't know.
I don't even remember.
People just don't have a realistic perception of how they look anymore. But at the same time, like, I've seen statistics that say people who are objectively rated by other people as below average still see themselves as average or above average. People who are objectively rated as above average rate themselves the exact same way as like average.
Yeah.
Everyone sees themselves as average, which is probably the more healthy mindset to have. I mean, regardless of how you objectively look. So where are all these people getting the idea that they're 10s?
They're also looking for the most extreme examples to put on these shows. So we're algorithmically controlled to believe that that's
it's like
normal.
Ugly in real life. Ugly people think they're average. Hot people also think they're average. Yeah. That's probably the best thing for everyone.
I hope so. I hope people are actually I think too many people think negatively of themselves because they aren't this or that. Which is wrong, but I hope people think that they're like, I'm normal. Like, that's a great mindset to have. Like, I'm a normal person. Cool.
It's not really desirable to be normal
But
anymore.
we shouldn't do a scale on 1 to 10. I mean, I know that's been around forever, but it's like, what is a 10? Can you guys tell me what a 10 looks like?
Well, a lot of people will ignore the fact that it's a subjective question anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there are objective metrics.
And women are beautiful in different ways. Men are, I guess, handsome in different ways. So it's like a 10,
I got it.
Stupid.
Everybody just get plastic surgery. That's how you become 10s.
Shave your head, shave your eyebrows.
That's how you literally go down in the scale.
All right. We got a $20 one, and then we will move on to Super Chats, Mary.
Do we? Oh.
Yep, right there.
Eat said it's all about money for an industry. Big problem in Europe as well. Tons of influencers get paid trips and surgeries in Turkey. Then they're contractually bound to speak well of the surgeons regardless of any damage post-op.
Yeah, you see that a lot. You see a lot of pictures, or they have they get dental work done in foreign countries where it's more cost effective.
That's happening now.
High-end clinics.
There's influencer dentists. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that's a thing happening in the United States, and it's super dumb because people are getting tooth infections, and it's go to a real dentist.
People were asking well, Blac Chyna, are you going to get your veneers taken off too? And it's that's not reversible.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like fake teeth. But you have to shave down the teeth underneath.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
possible.
possible.
So you can't reverse that. Disco Jensen said, made it through the 4 seasons of the IT crowd and wanted more after it ended.
I'm looking for it now. Make it through. I haven't seen it.
Indie Yuk said, swastikas are Asian. It's a symbol of peace for us. I grew up with Buddhas and swastikas in my house. That's true.
Yep, but in this case, it was on Sid Vicious, which
Sid
is not what that
Vicious was not using it that way.
You like that one?
Thank you. I loved that.
That's awesome.
I loved that.
That's fantastic. Who was that in the beginning? Was that you too, Mary?
That was Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was me requesting Phil.
Can we can you guys release a free crisis party ringtone on your merch store?
Wouldn't that be great? That would be freaking great.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
James Ornthal Wen said, I grew up in South LA County during Rodney King fallout and local schools were shut down even though the riots never reached our area because I don't know what that is.
So it's huge. Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is huge.
All right.
Disco Jensen said those movies Escape from New York and Escape from LA became prophecies. Can you think of any other movies that came close to current year?
Movies? That's a very good question.
I just saw someone point out that Order of the Phoenix is a very close, I guess, comparison to our current political climate. Like
Idiocracy got it.
It's an old female liberal scold that tells everyone how they can act and express themselves.
Person of Interest was extremely correct in regards to big tech censorship. They got everything right with NSA spying before the NSA stuff happened. Actually, they were talking about it. That obviously that was in regards to artificial intelligence and not an individual. But also, I like the show. If anybody saw The Last Ship and 12 Monkeys both involve plagues. Obviously, they involve time travel in 12 Monkeys, but like there's a lot of shows that have involved like plagues that end up being a problem for humanity. Like I miss the days when dystopian television was more enjoyable. Now, like I'm watching 12 Monkeys, right? And it's dystopian, and there's awful stuff happening, but it's still charming somehow. And I know that sounds ghoulish to say. Maybe it's just because Amanda Schull is a beautiful woman and charming and charismatic, and Aaron Stafford is charming and charismatic as the lead actor. But the shows back then had a certain amount of there was just something about them that was more inherently watchable than having to watch a bunch of depressing episodes of The Last of Us that just make me want to take more Prozac as the show goes on.
They're getting real close for Jurassic Park becoming a reality. Like, they're I think currently resurrecting woolly mammoths. They have DNA that they found trapped in ice.
I think Contagion with Gwyneth Paltrow really...
And The Day After Tomorrow. Eventually, if
predicted our pandemic.
Yeah. And if Greta Thunberg had her way, The Day After Tomorrow would become reality, and tomorrow New York City would be buried in snow. And,
actually, in Contagion, it came from a bat.
Yep.
Didn't it?
Yep. I think it was a wet market as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Contagion was, well, one could argue that was prepping everybody for... to take a blow later down the road. Yeah. I
don't know. Like that's what I was like. A lot of these questions like these are ones that I would like to have like time to go through my lists and think of off the top of my head. It's very hard to remember the names of these things like when we're in the middle of the show. So
yeah, exactly.
All right.
High Voltage 75 said, I was 27 when I got LASIK. Highly recommend if you can afford it. Worth every penny.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I wish I could get it, but my vision deteriorates in less than a year every time.
But you're.
They're saying in Contagion.
I think
it was
you're
a
right
pig.
there. Because I only got it a year ago, so I think you're right there.
Yours was stable though. Like mine gets worse.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
months.
Mine was getting worse and worse and worse until it just stopped getting worse.
It might stop. Yeah. Maybe, but also like. I don't know.
You have to hope, Mary.
It's kind of scary. Literally cutting your eye open.
It's like being abducted by aliens. It's crazy.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Ridiculous experience.
Did you have fun?
Actually, I was looking
forward.
Scared? I was looking forward to it until I got to the doctor's office, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're about to stick things in my eyes." But they'll give you, I think they give you Xanax if you're like freaking out. So it's cool.
Did it hurt?
No. You can smell like burnt hair. That's it. You don't feel a thing. The only thing I felt was him like painting back my like not eyelid, but like whatever top layer, like painting it back closed with some kind of medical adhesive. So I felt crazy. That, but it didn't hurt.
I do have, ladies and gentlemen, a Brett recommends for today. Ooh. I would like everyone, if they can find it, I believe it's it says it's on Freevee. There's a show called Perception starring Eric McCormack. If anybody ever saw him in, what was the show where he plays the gay guy?
Wouldn't have watched it.
The really famous one. I always forget the show that he was in. But he plays a neuropsychiatrist who helps the government. Will and Grace. That's what it was. My brain is not working today. He plays a neuropsychiatrist who helps the FBI solve crimes that are of a particularly cerebral nature. It's quite good. It's got Kelly Rowan from the OC and also Rachel Lee Cook from She's All That. So just today's suggestion, go check out Perception if you can find it. It's very they're saying Dharma and Greg. Dharma and Greg was Thomas Gibson, I believe, not him. It's Will and Grace. Yep. All right, back to Super Chat.
Okay. Disco Jensen said TikTok brain and the perception of dire circumstances has an entire generation ignoring the future and living on impulse.
That I would actually agree with. People are like you want something right now, and it's very easy to ignore what could possibly be a problem later. Like when you really think about it, and this is just me saying off the top of my head, like did we have a ton of research into cell phones before cell phones were approved that are going to say that our brains aren't turning to mush from using them? Like, is there really a lot of research in data and information?
The research, if you're asking, is being done on you.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, you're the research.
Yeah.
I do agree. Also, go watch The Following. Somebody suggested the Following. They should go watch The Following as well. All right, we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. So, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everyone knows him as the guy everyone loves because he kept his mouth shut in prison. Oh, that's not what happened. That's not what happened, ladies and gentlemen. What do they say? Snitches get stitches. Well, that's actually what happened here. He got beat up in the bathroom of a LA Fitness in Miami, Florida.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to like play the video? Not much of it is even visible.
Yeah. Let's. I can play.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. See if we can. Is there audio, or can we do it with audio? I think we can.
All right. It's pretty brutal.
Like,
He's got blood all over his face. He walks out wearing like just his socks.
Yeah.
You should not go up to someone and be like, "I'm your biggest fan," right after they got beat up. That's so ridiculous.
That was like a different guy that just happened upon the situation and was like, "Can I get a selfie?" Like, what are you talking about?
What? Like it's like his face is like swollen shut.
Yeah, and he got hospitalized after this with his injuries to, I believe, his rib cage.
So I saw this video yesterday, and I didn't want to tweet it out, but these goons, I think it's steroids, man.
Why?
Dude,
they just got roid rage at the
I
gym.
think
They
it's
didn't even
roid
know who
rage.
Tekashi 6ix9ine
No,
was.
they definitely do. They definitely do, but this is a ridiculous response. They're all caught on camera in a public LA Fitness bathroom.
Yeah.
They're all going to get in trouble for this.
I mean, my question is,
Like idiots.
someone of 6ix9ine's socioeconomic status, why is he going to a public gym?
He's actually come out and said he's basically broke now. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Really?
It's like the Island Boys. Remember those guys?
I just think if you've had a big song or many big songs with big artists like Nicki Minaj, etc., like there is money that comes from that residually.
I decided to ask ChatGPT, why do people hate Tekashi 6ix9ine? We know why.
That's a good question.
We know why. It's snitches get stitches, right? So
he was on racketeering charges, am I right?
Yes.
And
so it gave me a couple of answers. It's really funny. It's very magnanimous in its approach here. It says could be criminal activity. He's been involved in various criminal activities throughout his career, including drug dealing, armed robbery, and firearms offenses. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to charges of racketeering, firearms offenses, drug trafficking, and cooperated with the authorities in exchange for a reduced sentence. Many people view his cooperation as a betrayal and a question of his credibility.
the cooperation,
Yes.
what ChatGPT failed to put out there in its description is that his cooperation required him to give the feds information on other gang associates. He was in what was he in the Bloods?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not for the consequences of my own actions,
It's the same thing,
coming
like-
back to me. Like,
Gunna has been shunned since getting out of prison too, a decent amount. Like they're not happy with him either.
They even knew that this was what was going to happen to him. Like, do you prefer to be beaten up in prison or out of prison?
Yeah.
It said the assistant U.S. attorney said at the time, 6ix9ine will forever have to look over his shoulder. It's true. And now, like, I think that XXX Tentacion's murderer is on trial right now.
They got found guilty, I think.
All three of them.
He's been found guilty.
All of them. Pretty sure.
One of them was like recorded smiling and blowing kisses at his family members in court.
Unreal.
Like, that's actually unhinged sociopath.
They're
behavior.
also saying the other reasons they list are cultural appropriation. They say that Tekashi 6ix9ine, they say he's guilty of appropriating black culture, particularly through his use of the N-word and his style of rap music. They argue that he is not authentic and is exploiting a culture that he does not truly understand or represent.
Isn't that crazy that Tekashi 6ix9ine has always been one of the mainstream rappers who is not Black, who is just allowed for some reason to say the N-word all the time. Like, he just does it, and because there's no explanation, because there's no apology, people don't address it anymore. He's done songs with Black artists while saying the N-word in his own lines. No one cares. Yeah. It's complete selective outrage.
Why do you think that is?
When you don't apologize, no one cares. Yeah. That's the fact. Like, you can't be canceled if you evidently don't care.
Look at Chris Brown. Chris Brown doesn't apologize. Nothing happens to him.
If you're not apologetic or you're not trying to explain yourself all the time, no one can get the sweet trauma coins that they want out of you.
Did you hear that, Che Young? You should have just never apologized. You should have just kept wearing the shirt.
Usually a bad decision. Yeah. I'm not saying I like defend any of their actions. I'm just saying, like, that's the psychology of it. The mob wants you to panic.
Yep. So the rapper whose legal name is Daniel Hernandez walked out of the restroom with a bloodied face. Like, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be completely honest.
Well, there have probably been other incidences, but he can't even, if he said that he's broke, he can't even afford to have private security around him. But where is, like, the new music? Like, I'm sure he could come out with new music.
There was a documentary about him on Hulu.
Still make money.
Yeah, but I wonder how much, are you able to pull up, like, if he had to pay any damages through the...
I don't think he had to pay any damages.
At all?
No.
There was nothing?
Doesn't seem... It would have said here, I guess.
They're saying that's what Balenciaga did. They just didn't apologize. Is that...
Exactly, yeah. Whether it's an individual or a corporation, no matter what you're doing, if you just ignore
what they're
it,
up to
people
nowadays.
memory hole it so fast.
Are they still, like, putting out really creepy ads?
Probably not.
They partnered with some charity organization for children.
Advocacy group, yeah.
And made a bunch of empty platitudes about how they're going to rededicate themselves to educating themselves on child exploitation.
So when you...
Nothing actually changed.
I searched Balenciaga in Google, and the first thing is a Snopes article that's telling me, don't worry, does not mean ball is king, Balenciaga.
Oh, thanks for telling us,
Thanks, Snopes. Yeah, well, I guarantee they're still probably doing creepy things.
I mean, that's funny because Balenciaga is literally just the founder's name. Yeah. It's just his last name.
Yeah, it's just
but maybe they were like.
But they did spell it like Baal in that ad campaign.
There's a $20 one, Mary, from High Voltage.
High Voltage 75 said, "Nothing to be afraid of, Mary. I had deteriorating vision too. 10 years later, vision's still perfect. And you get free drugs, like Kellen said. Not that I needed them, because I'm not a wimp."
Oh, come on.
That's good. That's good.
Shade.
Okay, if you say so.
I had when I was in high school, I still remember my 7th grade biology teacher made us watch the video of his LASIK eye surgery. Yes, that was a thing. And like he made like he was all proud because like I guess when they released the clamps on his eye, he didn't blink and he's like, here it comes. Watch. And I guess he doesn't blink and he's like, yeah, like he's like really excited. Like all those years later after that, he didn't blink. And that was his big crowning achievement, was that he was able to finish his LASIK eye surgery and not blink immediately after when it was done.
Another reason that people don't like 6ix9ine is because he's
corny. He's corny. Sorry, he is.
He's actually been allegedly PDF file.
I saw somebody in the chat say that. I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah,
that's not confirmed?
I don't know the whole situation. I just remember there was a 13-year-old and there were allegations. Ooh. I don't know all the details.
I didn't hear about that. You know, but I don't think that's why he got jumped.
No, it's not why he got jumped. That's the sad part, right?
Yeah, it just shows the state of things. If you're a tattletale, oh, you're done. You're done for. But if you're a diddler, no problem.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on social media reacting to this are kind of LARPing as like you're not hard, you know, like you're not a blood. Oh, yeah, like why are you reacting to this? Like snitches get stitches. You literally come from a suburban neighborhood.
So he's being mocked now by other rappers, Boozy and Chief Keef. I think it's hilarious. Yep.
What did they say?
So snitches get stitches. Yep. Let's start a GoFund for this guy. So, okay, at least Boozy, you know, he got a swipe at him.
He needs a GoFundMe for his medical bills now.
He just does laughing
He also
emojis.
got kicked out of a bar earlier this week for like being drunk and causing a ruckus.
No, he was at a baseball stadium.
Or yes, that's what it was.
And he got kicked out. Yeah. So it looks like he's not in the best frame of mind right now.
He's not even a good week.
Well, this pisses me off because, you know, like whether or not he deserved this, right? Like you have other rappers now coming out saying this is awesome. Yo, that culture, that mindset is literally why XXX Tentacion got killed.
Yeah.
100%, because you guys think it's a joke and you run up and just you shoot people over like, I don't even know. It's silly. It's so dumb.
Pop smoke.
Criminal dispute.
Oh my God.
This is what I don't get. Especially with like Brett, you know more about like rap culture, but like when it comes to rappers who are totally established multi-millionaires, what compels you to still to still make money off of crime? Like, why?
It's part of the.
You don't have to do that.
It's literally baked
anymore.
Into the culture.
Like,
and it
isn't
seems
it the whole
to not
like,
do
story
it,
of it? The story arc of it is like coming up and being your own person finally, like making money off of your own artistry, not. You know, like, isn't that the come up story that's so glorified, yet you're still
I mean, I don't know about I don't
involved
even know about
in
that.
gang crime?
A lot
Like,
of them, you know, the entirety of East Coast, West Coast rap feud had to do with making millions of dollars through rap music while also being part of criminal syndicates and such. So, I mean, Suge Knight is in jail right now. Like I want to know Suge Knight's take on all this. That's what I want to know. He's probably like,
I believe this might be why Lil Uzi Vert became non-binary,
to get away
then
from
no one will take you seriously.
So there is this weird like kind of new age rapper where they're kind of like goth and emo.
Yeah.
Lil Uzi's in there, Trippie Redd's in there.
Retreating from the expectations of like being a gangster.
Yeah,
like, for real.
it's just there is somewhat of a new rap culture being built, but it's slow. It's getting there though.
Is that even a good thing? I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's kind of.
Do we want Lil Uzi Vert to have a pink diamond implanted in his forehead and go by they them pronouns?
I'd rather him be like a weird punk like rocker guy like in the 80s than to be someone who will just go and shoot up a block. You know, like I'm sorry.
I wish there was something in the middle. I don't know.
Right.
This is just such a bizarre story. I haven't thought about the existence of Tekashi 6ix9ine in so long.
There's stuff in the middle would be the rappers that eventually got out, right? Would like Snoop Dogg is still allowed to like basically be gang active, right? But like Ice-T, Ice Cube all get out. A lot of those rappers, they do get out and they move on to Wu-Tang, RZA. Like moving on to acting and stuff like that.
Right.
Like a lot of them move on and create careers that are outside of that. But that's far more like higher up the ladder of establishment.
And Ice Cube's his son. So it's like, you know, he's I think someone you should look up to. You know, he grew up in that life in LA, made a career. Now he's a movie star. And he's making sure his kid doesn't have to live that way that he did.
Dustin is right too. Nipsey Hussle talked about how you need to get out and then still got shot.
Yeah.
Like you can't escape it. It's unbelievable. Like, but for a lot of them, it's like, it's very hard to turn, like just because you make money to do something, right? That doesn't mean that you want to turn your back on everything you were beforehand, whether that's good or bad, right? It's baked into who you are.
What cringes me out is all of the like actual yuppies and suburbanites in the quote tweets talking about he deserved it, he's government property, blah blah blah. Like you don't even know what you're talking about.
Confront him. If you want to confront him, be like, yo, Tekashi, we know what you did. Get out of this gym. We go here. We don't want you here. Confront him. But they didn't even say any of that. Yeah. They didn't say any of that. They just kicked him.
Other people thought this was a publicity stunt
for what?
To get him in the headlines, but
the better publicity stunt for him would be him winning the fight.
Yeah.
You don't publicity stunt with blood all over your face and go to the hospital for like broken rib cage in your jaw. Yeah. And like literally having a nosebleed. Like that's not a publicity stunt.
Tekashi, come on the pod. Tell your side of the story.
Wheezy's out.
We'll hear you out.
Wheezy's out here like skateboarding these days. Like
whatever happened to that guy that got big on to the Fleetwood Mac song? He was longboarding
he bought a house. He bought a house. I actually just saw something about that the other day. Like on my Instagram story, like a year ago, I like reposted an article where like he bought a home and I think he got busted recently with weed in his car or something like that.
Okay.
As you would expect, that's fine. You know, I ain't got a problem with that, man. If it's just because it was like loose and it wasn't prescribed or something, let him live. Also, I saw today that Afro Man is being sued by the police that searched his house.
Song?
Well, yeah.
Did you watch the music video?
Because I Got High?
No, his new one. So Afro Man released a new song. It's all security camera footage of the police raiding his house.
Oh,
it's
well, apparently that has pissed off the police that searched his house because they're suing him. Because he's like defaming them. He said they stole like $400 from his house.
I think one of them ate like some of his cake or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Police will raid your house, eat your cake, and then shoot your dog.
Yeah. He's like, why'd you have to bust down my door?
It's my favorite. Like I love talking about. And yes, in the chat, it is the guy who's saying because I got high. Remember, he's running for president in 2024, so he's got my vote. Like, I don't need Trump. I don't need DeSantis. I don't need Biden.
We've got
I don't need
one
Harris.
From T-Bone. He said, "Mary, can't believe you never heard of a golden birthday, but it was so awesome hearing that yesterday. Helen, can you talk to Tim about getting a PCC Discord chat room?"
Sure. Yes, but if you are, I'll talk to him. And just make sure you guys are members at timcast.com because that's the way you access the Discord.
I like popping into the Discord from time to time now, and just I wait for I'm like a sniper. Like I just
what's going on in there?
I wait
don't
for
have
like
Discord.
Oh, you should.
I had to literally
make
the
a 411?
New one. I had to make a new one because I lost it. I don't have access to my original. Like I don't have access to that email anymore.
You're in the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in the Elite chat room last night, just hanging out, but no one wanted to come talk to me. So.
Yeah.
You're an Elite member.
That's right.
I wait for like conversations that are like a lot of times they're having these really esoteric conversations about God, religion, and freedom and free will and stuff, and I'm like, I'll wait on that. Like
I would go in there and just be like, "You're all wrong, haha."
But
you know who Malcolm Flex is hanging out in there? He was hanging out there for hours last night.
Dude, I want to get Malcolm Flex on here. That dude rules.
Yeah,
dude,
he's super cool.
That dude's awesome.
I would love his take on the whole Doja Cat, Blac Chyna stuff. I would love for him to, just because he's a
smart dude. He's
like literally what I'm preaching.
Yep.
He's like, built, eats well.
It's also funny too because that's like a lot of what Eric July promotes now on his Twitter when he's not arguing with what he calls crackheads.
I love it.
He's saying go out. Be athletic, be great, and then like people that like argue with him, he just posts pictures of them because they're always unathletic and fat looking.
I love it.
He's so ruthless on Twitter.
The ultimate own is the post physique post, right?
That's it. Became he's like, I'm done arguing with these people. It's just post physique for all of them. So
physique specifically spelled Fizeek.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do is we need Tekashi 6ix9ine to get together with Afro Man, and they can make a joint track about the cops that raided them and the guys who beat him up.
Do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
He needs to make some kind of comeback.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really funny too because most of the music, the rap music that I listen to, we do have that discussion a lot, right? Like it was a weird thing to grow up in a time period where that life was sold as a product to white kids in the suburbs who couldn't really understand the culture behind it because they had no experience with it.
Which was fine, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't pretend you did.
Yeah.
But now they're on Twitter talking about this, pretending that they did.
Yeah.
Because it's cooler to LARP as someone who struggled through something rather than be, obviously a cushy, comfortable suburbanite.
Yeah. Like when I grew up listening to rap music, whether it was Twista, Tupac, Biggie, awesome. Bone Thugs, all this stuff, Mac Dre, you understood that this wasn't your life. But they were also sold as a product that was cool. And you knew they were cool because they were authentic and you believed that they lived the life they lived, right? So I don't see that as something that's inherently bad. I see that as something that it's on us as the individuals to be able to tell the difference.
He said, for a hearty chuckle, look up Aqua's Barbie Girl song and look at Ken's hair. The makeup department did him dirty.
I'm going to have to look at that.
I've never seen that.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go Barbie.
Golden Gaming says Biggie,
Iconic.
Tupac, Eminem, Del. By Del, do you mean Del, the funky Homo sapien? We're talking Deltron 3030. Del was good too. All that's like, look, I still end up going back and listening to more rap music than anything else because I do believe that there's artistry behind it, and a lot of people take for granted or they focus on the messaging of it and they don't realize that there's true art to that. I will contend that most music made today is not actually produced in a way that's meant to be listened to as an album. When you listen to East 1999 Eternal by Bone Thugs and Harmony, I can't just put on the first song and stop. I listen to the whole album start to finish, because it's made to be listened through as an album, interludes and all. So
that's definitely not how music is.
No, it's not.
It's singles that you put on TikTok one at a time.
Yeah.
Easily digestible,
like
low attention span.
And like, what is it? Like the magical length is 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yep.
I think.
Really?
Yeah. Like 2 minutes and 40 seconds is the exact, like they've like mathematically proven that's like people will re-listen to it if it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
If it's
that's why actually a lot of people release a sped up version and slowed down version and regular version of one single.
I'm guilty of loving usually both versions of a lot of good songs like that. Yeah. Now they're talking music in the chat. I'm loving it. Yes, the Fugees. Lauryn Hill's kind of a, wasn't she super racist? I feel like she was super racist.
She was always singing and rapping about God and stuff, so maybe I don't
know. But they're listening. They're listening. Biz Marquee, good call. There's a bunch of good stuff in there.
We've got some super chats to get into.
Immortal Technique. All right, let's go for it.
Potatoes for Seamus said, "Hi Kellen, hi Brent, Mary, g'day mate."
G'day, Mike.
Hello.
G'day. Manipple said, "Avocados are smuggled by the cartels and destroy environment."
Okay, let's because that's going on. We are going to end the poll, ladies and gentlemen.
Aren't they grown in California?
Yep.
Partly.
I asked in the chat today, avocados, yay or nay?
I like them.
We got
what do we get?
59% say avocados are a yay.
Cool.
See, they're all a bunch of agents of Big Avocado.
Big avocado agents, and then 40% say nay to avocado.
I voted yay.
For once, you weren't the contrarian today.
I didn't know that it was going to be 59% though. I didn't know what people were going to decide. But Kellen, what about you? Yay or nay?
I said yay, but I'm like indifferent about it. I don't have anything.
Being repulsed by avocados, I think, is like a bit overdramatic.
I'm not a fan of guacamole, and I know that's kind of controversial. Yeah.
If anything, people like guacamole and hate avocado.
Right. So I'm backwards. I'm like, I'll have avocado, but like I don't need the whole kit and caboodle.
Okay. Kit and caboodle. I love that.
Tiberius says yes. She didn't want white folks to buy her album, so she was the '90s version of the comic book artists who are like, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my books.
Well, joke's on you, Lauryn Hill, because I listen to your music all the time.
Anyway.
Every way.
Ready or not.
You totally owned her by giving her money.
Yeah.
Take that, you incel.
It's like reverse psychology. Like, I really wouldn't want white people to buy this music.
Well, that actually, who's the guy that just died? So there's a little bit of truth there. I can't think of his name. Like old 1970s kind of like soul singer. He just died. He was a white guy, but they didn't want to put his face on the album because they're like, it's like R&B almost, and they're like, dude, black people aren't gonna buy it if there's a white guy on the cover.
It's like that moment in Elvis,
did a silhouette.
The Baz Luhrmann Elvis, where he's like, he's white.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. They didn't believe that at the time because of his voice.
Yeah. Yep. Potatoes for Seamus said, Mary, they're turning the stinking frogs gay.
Are they doing that? When's Alex Jones coming back? Is that ever happening?
Did you see he like broke his nose or something on Crowder yesterday by accident? Yeah, because they're like, "Come on, Alex Jones."
How could you possibly?
We're going live, and he like turns and hits a wall. They didn't show it on camera, but then he posted
I don't know why.
I
just pictured him just nose diving straight into Crowder's desk or something crazy like that. I don't know.
I remember, I had one time I had a no good, very bad week. Like all the years of skating injuries, no broken bones, but torn ligaments, lots and lots of stitches. I have an entire folder of photos of me hurt. It's hilarious how many pictures have been taken of me with like holes in my palms and everything like this. But in 1 week, I cut my face open twice at work on like various surfaces, by just like grazing like the corner of a sharp a sharp display and like caught my face and like had a cut here and then later got another one here and like this one needed stitches. This one I'm not getting 2 sets of stitches in 1 week. I'm not doing that. So just like covered it up and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw, this is completely random, but I was like on the metro in DC one time. There's this older man, maybe 50 or 60 years old. He had a giant scar all around here and he's just,
his neck?
Yeah. And I'm like, what happened there? Someone
tried to kill you?
I'm like, who is this guy?
Yikes.
Ooh. It's like, that guy's got stories.
Yeah.
You should have asked him. It's totally socially
appropriate. I will ask the guy with the neck neck scars on the metro.
It took years for me to be able to actually fill in facial hair right here because I had 6 stitches right across my chin.
Oh yeah.
So that took a long time. I think I'm over the 250 mark as far as total amount of stitches in my life.
I'm so excited to get sushi. It's just crossing my mind right now.
They're saying I'm manifesting.
I'm hungry.
They're saying I'm manifesting negativity. What negativity am I manifesting? Am I manifesting negativity today?
Explain.
I don't believe that's true.
Carnell said, "Am I the only one who thinks that ChatGPT is just Ask Jeeves in disguise?"
Well, we can ask him right now.
Are you just
Ask
him? Jeeves in disguise? Does ChatGPT have pronouns?
Yeah.
What are the appropriate ones? Ask it what its pronouns are. Ask
You gotta have more. Like detailed. It says, "No, I am not Ask Jeeves in disguise. I am an artificial intelligence language model developed by OpenAI."
Boring
thank
answer.
You. Boring. You're supposed to give far more like in-depth questions that are supposed to have way more parameters for the search. But eventually, everyone's just gonna be like, "I don't feel like looking this up. I'm just asking my computer."
Manipple said access to that yayo. I don't know what that means. T-Bone said, "Mary can't believe you." Oh no, I already read this one.
We'll read one more and then we'll move on.
Sent us a thumbs up. Thank you. Philip Reed.
We already read that one. We're going to come back. We're going to come back. All right, guys, we're moving on. Hasbulla, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
I thought it was Hasbulla.
Hasbulla? Chat, let me know. How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Hasbulla. Hasbulla.
Sounds like Hezbollah, but it's not. It's not Hezbollah.
Yeah, he is a 20-year-old influencer that was recently invited on Mike Tyson's hotboxing podcast. I didn't know this podcast existed.
Oh, yeah. He's got a whole farm out in Nevada.
I'm excited for this episode to come out. So if you guys were unaware, Hasbulla has a growth hormone disorder where he is a grown man, but he looks like he's like 4 years old or something. Like he
younger
looks
than that.
Like really, really young.
Baby.
And his voice is also that of like someone really young. So he's like 3'3". And he's gotten a lot of followers just because he's like so unique looking, and he does have a good sense of humor about it, which is really hard to find these days, in general.
Yeah, it really is.
And especially when it gives you trauma coins, as I call them, to like that you cash in on, you know,
I like
having
that term.
a certain
I like that term.
you can cash in by having some kind of disorder or disability or what have you.
You get to cash in on your victimhood points, but trauma coins is fantastic.
Yeah. But Hasbulla seems to have a good sense of humor about it. And this viral video of his interaction with Mike Tyson, it did make me feel awkward to watch it because Mike Tyson is interacting with Hasbulla as if he is actually a child.
Yeah. Let's watch it.
Yeah, let's react here. Just playing around, roughhousing. Throwing some serious punches. He just picks him up like a baby. He starts like nibbling his ear, which is obviously a
he's treating him like he's a pet.
Reference like biting the ear
of Evander Holyfield. Did you know that he sold CBD gummies in the shape of torn off ears?
Yeah.
No, that's
so Mike Tyson can have a good sense of humor about the fact that he's torn off someone's ear.
Yes.
Hasbulla can have a good sense of humor about the fact that he's 3 foot tall.
Yep. Do you remember
what did you think about this video, Kellen?
So I think it was inappropriate to pick him up.
You think,
I was like, dude, yeah, because like, yes, I get it. Hasbulla is adorable, but he's a grown man. He's 20
Not
years old.
Grown.
But
adult
yeah,
man.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
He's 20 years old. I'm pretty sure he can drive he drives himself wherever he wants and stuff like that. So this did seem like it's like if Mike Tyson picked you up and because you went on the podcast, it'd be weird.
Yeah, but I don't look like I'm a baby.
Yeah. It'd be weird either way.
It would be weird, but it's like, I don't know. I can see how Mike Tyson wouldn't really I can see how,
I guarantee you he was stoned.
Oh, 100%.
Do they actually hotbox the room on this podcast?
He's got a marijuana farm out in Nevada.
Yep.
But do they actually like smoke on the show?
I'm sure they do.
Is that like a thing?
He's like a chimney. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't know. Like, if you look at someone and you see a child, even if they're not a child, it's like hard to not treat them like one.
Do you remember the story that was making the rounds on Twitter and social media a couple of weeks ago about the lady who permanently looks like a child and everyone?
We were just talking about her actually. So like, then this guy reached out to her because she was like trying to find a boyfriend because like it's kind of difficult to not either end up with weirdos or be totally avoided if you look like you're 8 years old and you're an adult woman.
Like, what do you do?
This guy reached out to her because he saw her on that show. And now they're together, right, Kellen?
I'm pretty sure they're together.
As far as you know.
And a lot of people had some very strong feelings about this.
Like,
because
is this guy a weirdo?
And is she supposed to just be alone forever?
Yeah.
I think Lydia, Lydia on Twitter was like, "What is she supposed to just never have anybody?" I think this is the
perfect, kind of example of something that's taboo.
Yep.
It's not like taboo shouldn't necessarily mean evil. It's just odd, right? It's not the norm. I don't think what he's doing is evil, but yeah, it's a little bit weird. But you're right. Who's to deny her a happy and healthy life? You know?
It's almost an unanswerable question.
I don't know.
That's why
and we were talking
the right
about
word.
it because, like, is she able to have kids?
Yeah.
Like, it's that brings up a whole other set of questions.
Right.
But in this case, I don't think anyone was like mad at Mike Tyson.
No, I didn't see anyone. They're just saying like weird party foul kind of, but not like also
kind of weird.
Very hard. Like, and nobody's gonna be like actually mad at Mike Tyson if they're within fist shot. Like they're not.
No,
like, you're not going to let him give you the hands. It's not going to happen.
Can you pull up the Hasbulla with puppies video?
Yes.
Have you seen that one?
I can look for it.
There was also this video of him beating up a Mickey Mouse mascot that I saw. I loved it. I like his vibe. Like,
there's one where he has his own little pool and just like his screams and his laughs as he's just jumping and swimming is amazing.
Oh, it's Nelk. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Nelk.
They're good. They're nice. No bite.
They're nice.
Yeah, he's Russian. He's Russian, so how much English does he speak?
I think he understands more. So actually, this is kind of interesting. So I have a cousin that was adopted from Russia, and in the orphanages over there, not saying Hasbulla was an orphan, but they tell kids, like, you better behave or the wild dogs will get you. Like, that's just something that's common, and they tell children. And so my cousin, when he came to, he terrified of dogs, probably still to this day.
Are Russians in general
I
don't
scared
think
of dogs?
So,
but I think it's just something, it's like, it's just something that can occur, that happens, I don't, so.
Well, I mean, if puppies were half my height, I might be scared of puppies.
Puppies. And he likes cats. He loves cats.
Okay.
Hasbulla loves cats.
How much English does he speak, though, that he's able to be on Mike Tyson's podcast?
He's got like a team of people. Like, it's weird.
Does he have
dynamic.
an interpreter with him? Like,
he speaks a little bit of English because there's this other guy. I don't know if it's someone's kid or if it's someone that also has like a genetic condition who they're like gonna do like a celebrity boxing match because they're both really tiny people. And I think he was speaking in English, calling him out during that, but it's broken English. A few words here and there.
Okay. Now I'm like so curious. I'm definitely gonna go watch the episode.
You just go down the rabbit hole of Hasbulla.
I have
videos,
seen a lot of videos of him,
awesome.
but I haven't like really looked into him. But if he has like a team, how do we know that they're not like, I don't know, handlers?
Did you ever see remember a long time ago, was this, I don't remember if you were here when we discussed Mike Tyson believing that like rich people are hunting down poor people for sport, like the world's like the greatest game?
No.
Yeah, he's like he like went on like he did a thing with TMZ where he was talking about how he's like, yeah, it's totally possible that that rich people just hunt, like just bring people.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now I remember this.
Like Tyson's awesome. I get a huge kick out of Tyson.
The reaction to that was like really strong. A lot of people got angry at that for some reason. That
it's probably true.
But it was just a reference.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. They're saying that his team is his family, so it's family members that help.
Yeah, he's got his last name, I believe, is. I don't know if he's related to the fighter, but I think it's
probably hard
Magomedov.
to pronounce, given that it's Russian.
Yeah, especially the Dagestan area. It's all very hard.
Damn, and he posted this picture in front of a McLaren. Is he able to drive? Is he tall enough to drive?
Can they? But they make like ways that you can do that, right?
Yeah,
like
probably.
Things that change the car.
Something to.
Yeah.
Short king.
Basically.
He's definitely a
but like, do you think
fashion
this is
icon.
Think this is one of those things that's just like there's no like that Tyson just didn't have any like proper like heads up?
Was this after they filmed the podcast or before?
I like the idea.
Was this like when Mike Tyson still had no idea that he was 20? Or
I like the idea of him just being so stoned.
Yeah, that he just has no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
And he could have been anyone.
I like all the videos of Hasbulla holding up guns too, because the guns are just huge.
I doubt that Hasbulla was offended in any way.
No, it doesn't seem like he could be. Like he seems very chill, which is good. And then Tiberius says that they make driving stilts. I can't tell if that's a joke or not, but
I think they do.
If it's true, then rock on.
If Mike Tyson didn't know Hasbulla is 20, then that's like. A lot of people didn't know that he was 20 until this happened. So
pedal extensions and booster seats, yes. So that makes more sense to me than stilts, which sounded like a joke.
Someone replied, "I honestly think Mike forgot he was cuddling up a grown-ass adult." LOL.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be weirder if it's just a kid anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm trying to put like some kind of spin on it where it would make sense to pick someone up that's 20 years old, and I can't.
I mean, they're all watching and laughing, so I guess it was fine. I don't know.
And he responded. He said, he says, we'll do it again, even bigger next time. So like he did respond.
Okay.
In tweets, so obviously they got along well.
All smiles.
It's good. Yeah, it's good stuff.
What is his Twitter at? Hasbulla _ NFT?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Hasbulla. Okay, the bio says Hasbulla's official profile and NFT project sold out.
No, I think he's got two Twitters. He's got two accounts.
Okay.
Now
I'm looking for the authentic one. Hasbulla Hive is the personal account. No, it says I work for Hasbulla. So who is the real one?
I don't know if he actually has his own.
It says Hasbulla _ NFT is his official.
Okay.
And you can go to cryptohasbullanft.com. This is like a parody or fan account.
What?
Thing.
No, there's no way the NFT one. It's only got 400K and there's 1.5 mil on the other one.
He has NFTs of a bunch of different characters that kind of look like him in the face. So he has one of like Walter White. He has one of Naruto, I think. Like a bunch of different people. Interesting.
He says, so Tiberius says, yeah, we always called them stilts. Well, my cousin did anyway, so he obviously had experience with it.
He might just have one of those cars, like if you're in a wheelchair, they'll give you like a lever as your gas pedal.
Yeah. Courier626 says, NFTs are so last quarter. Next pyramid scheme is war bonds.
This was just the crossover we didn't know we needed. Oh, I need to see Hasbulla in the Mischief Astro Boy boots.
That would be good.
Oh yeah.
It'd take up his whole leg.
Well, no, you'd make smaller ones.
Special ones.
Yeah, you have to make special ones.
I guarantee they made them custom ones.
Yeah.
I need those, by the way. I'm still hoping
are they
I can get my hands on a pair.
Are they purchasable yet? Like, can you find them?
They're
or just
for like pre-order, but they're probably out of stock, so I would need to like get it on a resale.
These are so ridiculous.
You can get fake ones on eBay.
The big boots.
I would get fake ones, but I just don't want to get scammed. Yeah. You know.
The big red boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are so ridiculous.
I think they're cute. I like them.
All right, we got a couple of super chats there, Mary.
T-Bone said, Brett, would you ever go on the Whatever podcast?
I have nothing to add, nor would I be in any way beneficial or helpful.
You know what you should do? You should just hit on the women the whole time.
How's it going? Like, every time they try to ask a question, be like, going.
Astute observation.
How far away is your hotel? Let's go.
T-Bone also said Brett is talking about his stitches and his awesome life, and Mary is just like, I'm hungry, I want food.
That's what it is.
I am really looking forward to sushi.
Do you get it from a specific place, or you just get it anywhere?
I'm not gonna dox my sushi locale.
Well, I don't know if it's a chain or if it's a particular restaurant. All right, Kellen, my friend, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I saw some messages saying to hang out in the Discord.
Yes.
Yes, I will. I was in the VIP chat as well as the Elite one.
Wait, how much is the second crisis party? I'm good. Wait, it's not updated.
That's not updating. But yes, follow me at KellenPDL. All the cast members will make appearances in the Discord from time to time. And I saw a comment that it was $100. It is not $100 to get into the Discord.
What is it?
It's $10. You get
okay.
It depends. You know, if you pay for a certain subscription, you're going to get access to certain things. But there
are different
just
sections
join,
of the Discord for different tiers, right?
Right. So because there's 5,000 people in there, and we can't have 5,000 people calling in to the IRL show. So that's one of the special perks.
The call-in is gonna be cool, but how are they gonna get screened?
We did it yesterday. You didn't see?
No, I didn't.
It went so well. It went very well.
Were they screened first?
Yep. So we got 4 callers.
Did you do it?
Nope.
Who did it?
Brett. What was his nickname? Brett Mack.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so he screens them. But yes, sorry, I'm rambling. Follow me at KellenPDL. Cool. Thank you guys.
I'm just finding out for the first time, and I actually work at this company. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. I guess we're gonna be looking into the possibility of a pop culture crisis Discord. I hadn't even thought about it.
I don't think it would make sense. I mean, maybe it would make sense to do your own one. It's the question for Tim. Would it make more sense to add an element to the current existing Discord, like a section that's pop culture, or if you guys should just have your own server?
Yeah, we'll think that over.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway, if you want to send me some validation, go find my Instagram at MaryArchived. And if you want to send me hate, my Twitter is at MaryArchived as well. We're still planning on doing meme review on Monday, I believe. So you can go to our subreddit for Pop Culture Crisis, submit whatever clips or edits or memes that you want us to react to, and we will curate for the best content.
Right. Guys, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brett Dasovic. I think that there was actually supposed to be a second crisis party. Did the second crisis party go off?
I don't believe so.
It's
I'm actually kind of weirded out right now because I think I'm going to set it off manually because I think it was supposed to go.
It was and
it never did
a while ago.
And it never did, guys. So you know what? Because I am a benevolent master. Just kidding.
Screen crisis.
There you go.
Can you? We need to get Phil back on.
That's so ridiculous.
Also, by the way, we have some special guests coming up tomorrow and the next day.
Yes.
So look out for that.
Do we announce?
I don't know. Do you want to?
Let's go ahead and announce. All right, guys. Tomorrow, here on Pop Culture Crisis, Ethan Van Sciver will be joining us, 28-year veteran of the comic book industry. I don't know what year he's up to now with his intro. Comics Gate, we are going to be talking with him tomorrow. And on Friday, Mary, our good friend...
She's coming back. Yeah. Nina Zernu is coming back for another appearance on Pop Culture Crisis. Because you guys loved her so much. I couldn't deny you another episode with Nina.
I threw it to you because I didn't know if I was supposed to call her Zernu or Nina.
we called her Nina, but her screen name is Zernu. If you're interested and you didn't know about this woman before, it's Xernue.
Yes. All right, guys, so you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brett Dasovic. The show is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you would like to listen to us, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twitter at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye.